You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring DeAngelo Williams and Gary Barnidge. You push play and they'll push the limits.
Hey, it's your boy Thyme here.
And we are all back. We are back together.
Oh, is that Thyme I hear?
That is.
2-week vacation and he's back?
Yes, this song's dedicated to my homie in that gangsta lean.
Y'all talking about time taking vacation. Look at y'all. Y'all been avoiding time and them 3-0 Panthers, boys.
2-1 Packers.
Listen, we're going full disclosure. We had to film a podcast early this week, so by the time you hear this, we might have lost to the Cowboys. Which, by the way, D, who are you cheering for this weekend? You got your two favorite teams playing, Cowboys and Panthers. Who are you cheering for?
Look, I have nothing against the Carolina Panthers. First of all, let me make sure I put that out there and make this free and clear. I have no qualms, no issues, none whatsoever with the Carolina Panthers. However, I do speak my mind when it comes to football. And when it comes to football and what I see and what I think and how I say things, because I have a history with the team, that I'm a hater. I'm saying the same thing that you saying, but because I'm saying it and I have history, then I'm hating. But you're saying it and it's just coming from a great place. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But anyway, I digress. I absolutely, every fiber of my being, hate everything about the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys. I don't like the star on their helmet. Hell, I don't even like Dallas because they are not Dallas, but they ain't even in Dallas. I don't like the area that they in. What's the area that they in?
Arlington.
I don't even like Arlington. I don't like the fans. I don't like commentators saying their name. If a commentator say their name, I don't like that commentator. So that's how much I dislike them.
It sounds like he's picking the Panthers.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if they could tie, I'd 100% I'd take that. I'd 100% take that, and that would be a win on both sides. But I am 100% pulling. And here's why I'm not pulling for the Panthers, and this is just me being honest. I'm not pulling for the Panthers because I don't like their quarterback of choice. Everybody wants to believe that Sam Darnold has turned the corner and that he's an MVP candidate and that he's playing lights out. It has nothing to do with Sam Darnold. It has everything to do with that damn defense that's ranked number one in every statistical category out there and not letting other teams score points. I really dislike when a team wins, the quarterback gets the credit for it, regardless of how good the defense plays. This is what's bothering me in modern football now.
You got me. He looks better than what you probably expected, didn't it?
When you say he's giving me the same thing that he was giving me with the Jets.
No way.
He's the same quarterback. He's the same quarterbap, bro.
His numbers are so much better.
He is the same quarterback.
He's not an MVP guy. He's a playing really well right now. He's playing one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL as of right now, is the way he's playing. Can he sustain it? That's another question.
Yeah, you have lost your ever-loving mind, bro. I can't believe you just said that.
As of right now, he is playing better than Big Ben for sure.
Woo! Shots fired!
I'm just saying, he's not playing better than Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Aaron Rodgers game one. The last two games, no, sir. But I'm just saying.
You're telling me that Sam Darnold is playing not winning football, but you're telling me that Sam Darnold is playing football. He's just putting up points over there. Not that the defense is putting him in position to score these points.
I agree with you. The defense is playing lights out. It's like when they went to the Super Bowl, the defense was lights out and got no credit for it.
I'll tell you who Sam Darnold is. Sam Darnold is Trent Dilfer. He's Trent Dilfer.
No.
He's Trent Dilfer. That's who Sam Darnold is right now. He's riding the coattails of that defense.
So
he is Trent Dilfer.
The real test is going to be the next 4 weeks without McCaffrey. That's going to be the real test on how well he plays. We're going to get a true understand who he is as a quarterback in the next 4 weeks without McCaffrey, because he can't rely on McCaffrey anymore. He's going to have to do a lot more. Obviously, DJ Moore's been playing lights out, so he has that. But that's been it. It's been DJ Moore and McCaffrey on offense. Robbie Anderson's done nothing. So Chuba Hubbard's getting a chance, which I'm excited about because I liked him in college, but it's not McCaffrey, so we'll see how he does the next 4 weeks. That's going to be the true test of how good of a quarterback he's become since he's in this system versus Adam Gase's.
Well, he's one of the NFL rushing touchdown leaders right now, right?
Who?
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I don't count that.
Okay. So can we get to what we did this weekend?
He's salty because he started it off with more rushing touchdowns than DeAngelo has ever in 3 games. I'm just kidding.
so let's recap everybody on our bet. Let's see. You have the Panthers to get the farthest. I have the Packers to get the farthest. D has the 1 and 2 Steelers to get the farthest.
They look bad, D.
So right now I'm liking my odds still because I have Aaron Rodgers and he's back to playing Aaron Rodgers ball.
Right.
I don't.
I'm not liking D's odds. That's good.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I don't want to talk about this. Have y'all seen the meme of Aaron Rodgers sitting on the sidelines and they're like, what CM Punk would have looked like if he'd have stayed in WWE?
No. Did y'all see the meme? Well, obviously D's not gonna like this, but did y'all see the Adam Gase meme? So there's an Adam Gase meme. I don't know if it's true or not. I saw I think it was.
Where he's lost everywhere?
So it says when he left the high school he was coaching at, the team won the state championship the next year. When he left LSU won the state championship the next year. When he left Peyton Manning won the championship the next year. When he left Ryan Tannehill became comeback player of the year. When he left Sam Darnold, he's 3-0.
I don't. Can we move on to what we did this weekend?
Speechless? I don't think I've ever seen.
Can we move on to what we did this weekend?
Let's go ahead and get past it. And I'm sure everybody's glad to have a little time back into the flavor profile. But let's go ahead and see what you did this weekend. We gonna start with Gary?
It usually starts with me because D talks for 45 minutes.
Wait, real quick. I don't know if you mentioned it last week, but how'd your team do? Did y'all have a bye week or what have y'all done since?
No, he hadn't talked about it in 2 weeks.
We had a bye week. That's why.
Oh, okay. All
right. We have a game. We have a game. We have a bye week, so I'll update you later.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So what did you do this week?
So for me this weekend.
Or what are you doing this weekend? We've already told the people we're filming this early. So what are you doing this weekend?
So this weekend we have our game. So I won't be able to give you the update till next week. I am taking the tight ends and the fullbacks to an escape room. So that's going to be fun and interesting.
I'm so proud of you that you're taking them to one and you're not building one in your house like we thought you might.
And what's crazy is that's a legit thought. That's why we're really proud of you is that you didn't build one, that you took him to one that's already established. Thank you, Gary.
And then my mom got me this little cup to drink out of this week. Okay. So
a little
Pennywise with a little one-armed kid on the back.
I love it. Which it's spooky season
Georgie
now.
Pooh?
It is.
October 1st. So I mean, do you want to do a weekly pick of a horror film people should watch that they might not have seen?
No, I think we'll save for something later we're gonna do for Halloween. I think we've talked about before. People can go back and listen. I guess I could do one at the end. Maybe. I'll give you one at the end.
Yeah, just think of one at the end, one scary movie. But y'all should understand, if y'all been to Gary's house, he's got so much horror stuff in his house. He's got to be the king of horror.
Hold up. Whoa. And you're agreeing, Gary? Are you agreeing?
Yeah.
No. We ain't giving him king of horror. I've seen some people that have said some pretty gnarly stuff.
So I'm king of horror of people y'all know. How about that?
Oh, so now you Oh, I feel like you taking shots at the people on this podcast.
Well, that's
I feel
a
like
fact. Thyme is scared to even watch a scary movie.
Oh,
so
no.
Not worried about him.
Don't get it twisted. I love scary movies, but I
what
don't
about
love
what
them to
about
the
are you the
same
king
degree.
of the people that's listening to your voice while you doing all this talking?
Honestly, I'm pretty sure it's probably not a person that listens to us that knows more about horror than me.
Ooh,
Just saying.
that sounds like a challenge.
That's just a statement that is probably factually true.
That sounds like a challenge.
Yes, it sounds like one to me too.
It is an open challenge.
Oh shit! Boy, we've been watching too much wrestling on this podcast.
Look,
Come get the title. Come get the title.
He's challenged Tim Tebow to a 40. He's challenged DeAngelo to a liftoff, and he's challenged people to a Halloween trivia contest. Now, what can't Gary Barnidge do is the real question.
Anything.
I can tell you what he can't do. He can't get out there and work out.
There's a difference. I choose not to work out. There's a big difference in that. But let's get back to what I did this weekend. I tried my CBD fizzy.
Okay, I was checking out the shirt. I see you rocking the McFly, CBD.
So after we talked, I got some product and I tried it out.
Hold on, Gary. Hold on. You got in the tub.
Correct.
Like sat down, got
for 42 minutes.
Why 42? Why that specific?
I had something on my
Jackie Robinson. You're a big Jackie Robinson fan.
I had something on Netflix that lasted 42 minutes, and I got out.
Hold on.
This man was trying to channel his inner Jackie Robinson. He's like, maybe this will bring out more of my West African if I sit in here for 42 minutes.
You can't say that too loud. D gets mad at you.
Yeah, he ain't got enough in him to trigger that. Okay, water guy, he got to dig a little deeper than that, much deeper than that. 42 minutes in the bathtub. Do you have to warm the water up, or do you just
I take
stay
scorching hot baths. I don't take a little warm.
That's what
bath.
I'm saying. So for 42 minutes, it ain't gonna be scorching hot. So
I don't get in until it's filled, and then I just turn it back on, and when it gets hot, if it starts getting cooler. But usually I leave the water on for the first 10 minutes.
While you're in there?
Mm-hmm. So it stays hot. I don't take baths very often, sir.
What the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
What? I'm trying to keep it
listen
hot.
to what you're saying. So you're boiling in this damn water while
I'm cooking
like
myself,
it's different when the water is moving. Like it's hotter when it's moving. When it's like
also my tub has jets too, so
you got a jacuzzi tub.
So he has a jacuzzi tub and a hot
tub
and a hot tub that don't work.
So a jacuzzi tub works. A hot tub works. I just don't have gas. I haven't refilled it with gas yet.
Oh my.
Okay. So what did the bad bum do? Was you high? Did you get high?
No.
That's right.
I think my body. I'm too big. I think I got to use 2 fizzies. I don't think one really did anything because I didn't feel anything. And so I reached out and
sound like a drug.
I am a large guy, so they said I might need to try 2. So I think if I do it again, I'll have to try 2 of them and see how it is because I don't think my body. My body absorbed enough for it to affect me.
So the fizzies fizzed out, huh? Damn.
I just think I need more. I'm also not the size of Nate, who's 5'2", 180. Or 5'2", not 180, probably 110.
I was gonna say 108. Yeah.
Yeah, 110, 5'2", 110. So it might affect him a little more than it affects me. So I'm gonna have to try 2 of them next time, and then I'll update you when I try that, and we'll see how it feels in there. But that was my weekend.
That's a pretty dope weekend, man. I had a pretty similar weekend. No, I didn't have a pretty similar weekend. I'm actually coming down to your house, Gary, this weekend.
That is
at the end of this weekend. Yes, we're shooting some good content. So if you haven't already, go to our YouTube page and subscribe. We're shooting a bunch of stuff when I get there, and I'm looking forward to it, Gary. I really am because it's been a while since me and Gary have been able to like hang out, and like him not judge me.
You know what I love about what you just said? You know how other YouTube videos, every video says, hey, subscribe and all this stuff. I like the fact that we don't do that every time. We're not going to force you to do it. If you want to do it, do it. It's not a big deal. And I think that's like probably the second time in all of our podcasts that you've said that, or we've said it.
And that's probably why we have like 10 subscribers. So maybe I
don't know. As me as a person, if I watch a YouTube video and somebody says subscribe every video, I'm not subscribing. I don't have any urge to do it because you're trying to tell. I just don't like it.
Right.
Yeah, I see what you.
But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
And I mean, D, you got a PlayStation 5 over the weekend, didn't you?
We want to get into that.
I also want to have a conversation about that. I was gonna skip that because I just wanted to state the facts, and you tell me at any point where I'm lying. Okay, you tell me at any point where I'm lying.
All right.
Time. All right.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So I am sitting in my house, watching TV, minding my own business. I get a text come through. Hey, does anybody need a PlayStation 5? And I don't really need one. You know, Gary has one already, but I'm like, I ain't got a PlayStation 5.
I'll get into how I got one later after your story.
Yeah. So I go, I don't really need a PlayStation 5, but like PlayStation 5s just don't pop up all the time. I said, how much is this PlayStation 5? And he goes, oh, it'll be at retail. I go, oh, okay. All right. No harm, no foul. Cool. Go by. I was like, dang, we probably should discuss like a price because at this point, I don't know what retail is. I don't know if retail is $299, $99, $500, $600. I don't know. Apparently, they come in different sizes.
BT's around $900.
So
that's our other buddy. That he did something with me on.
Right.
So we hadn't really figured out. Is there 2 different sizes or 3 different sizes or whatever it is? I'm not really sure. I'm not.
There's 2. There's a disc version and a discless version.
Right. So there's a disc version and there's a discless version. Sound like a dick version and a dickless version, but but either way, I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about the PlayStation 5. I just feel like I'm helping a homeboy out, right? Because the way he acquires these,
helping a homeboy out.
So I'm thinking I'm helping a homeboy out because he says like, yeah, they put these names in the raffle, and then he wins this raffle, right? Am I?
No.
How does it go?
Well, the one though I won before. Yes.
No, not him. Not you. I'm talking about him. We stand.
So this one was just a PlayStation Network special. So he reached out to us and was like, "Hey guys, I don't really want a PlayStation 5, but I just got an offer to buy one. Does anybody need it?" None of my friends wanted it that are in the text message. I was like, I might know somebody. So I texted my rich friends and see if either of them needed one. And so I know Gary already has one because he's super rich.
I'll get into my story about that one.
Yeah.
Gary's super rich. And so D was like, you know what? I'll take it for retail because that's all right, so bet. So D must know what retail is in Thyme's mind because D's accepted buying this PlayStation 5 at retail.
Right. And again, I don't know which version I'm getting. I don't know if I'm getting the one with the dick or the dickless version. I don't know which one I'm getting. Like, let's make sure we understand this though, right? So I'm sitting here. So then he texts me and he said, hey, I need your address and all that stuff. So I send my address and stuff. And he was like, hey, it's on its way. By the way, it's going to be $550. And I go, what? He was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, it's going to be $550. I was like, well, which version did I get? I still to this day don't know what version I got. Like, what version did I get?
You got the dick version.
Correct.
Okay, so
the more expensive one.
Okay, so I apparently I got that one. So now I'm like, okay, all right, I can deal with the $500. All right,
his first response back.
No, my first response was, hold up. Yeah, my first response was, hey, we didn't negotiate this, so I got $350 for you. And he goes, now. You said retail. And I said, no, I didn't say retail. I was like, you probably should have led with negotiations first. I went back through my text. I was like, oh, yeah, I did say retail. So I come back and I'm like, yeah, I did say retail. I got that $500 for you. He goes, you got to pay for shipping and you got to pay taxes. I said, that ain't retail then. Like, retail don't mean taxes and 3-day shipping. I told him, I said, how you know I want a 3-day shipping? How you know I couldn't just? I don't
That
want it
was the
fast.
standard shipping.
Do this. No, standard was at the top. You did 3-day, and I'm like, I don't want the 3-day shipping. I got $500 for you, and he goes, Nah, I'm gonna need that $550.
It sounds like he's trying to get you over.
Because here's the thing, it wasn't even me. It was my friend who purchased it. So here I am.
Sounds like he's taking a cut at that.
That's what it sounds like.
Right. I not guaranteed D paid no extra that there's any.
It sounds like he got a $50 cut over you, D.
That's exactly what they did.
All this to say, this is the last time I'll reach out to my rich friends to see if they want anything. Because
all right, now can I get in my story?
They gonna pity pinch you, boy. Go ahead, Gary.
I'm gonna interrupt on this one because, so again, similar situation. Thyme reaches out. Hey, I won a PlayStation 5. Now this is back in like November, right after they came out. Like you cannot find one anywhere. Right. And he won it paying like $25 to get into like a raffle type thing and won it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it. I'll pay you whatever the retail is, $550. And I'm thinking, oh, it's his buddy. He's going to take care of him. He knows how much this guy wants it. He's been looking for it. He's been scouring the internet. You know what he does, D? He's like, no, I'm selling to somebody else for $900.
No,
making more of a profit. I'm like, not even more of a profit. Like you paid $25 for this thing. Anything over $25.
Here's the thing. So whenever I won it, it was valued at $900 market value when I won it. I could have taken a cash option. This is
what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. What bothers me about you and this whole conversation that we having right now. The market value of this PS5 right now is lower than retail. Why can I not pay?
It's not lower than retail. Yes,
not it true. Is. No, yes, it is. It's $500.
That's not lower. Nope.
It's $500.
People are still paying $800, $900.
And them people don't know that they can get it for $500 by going through a friend and say, "Hey,
yeah, the dickless one.
You need a PS5."
No, so look, I could have taken a cash option for $900. I was like, you know what? I guarantee you I got a friend that wants a PS5. So
that'll pay more. That'll pay more.
That'll pay more than retail, but I can offer it to them for less than what it is going for right now, which is like $900. So instead of taking the $900 cash, I got the PlayStation and I was like, you know what? I'll let somebody have it for $700. That's $200 lower than market value. As a friendship,
it's still
$150 more
than what it actually cost.
But I took $200 less to offer that to so that's a good friend if you ask
me. But you only invested $25.
That don't matter.
That does matter. That has everything to do with the time. That is unbelievable, bro.
Your buddy is struggling to find every day, scouring the internet, in these queues trying to get, and you can't get one.
Yeah, I would have sold it to you for $550, bro.
And then I had to wait until freaking like a full, what was it? I think another 3 or 4 months before I could get one. Yeah, and I could have had one right around the release date, but somebody.
And he knew you wasn't gonna sell it. He knew you was gonna play it. He knew you wasn't gonna sell it.
You're still making a profit, but I guess money is more important than his friendship.
Money is more important than friendship. You can tell. So the question is, the question is this: if I invest $25 into a gaming system that retails for $500, but it's market valued at $900. Do I take the $500 because it's my friend and I only invested $25 in it? I didn't invest $500 in it and sell it for $9. So I'm still making the same amount of money if I purchased it for retail and sold it for $9 if I kept it at the $500 price tag. So that's what's crazy, Gary, is that he really chose money over his friendship.
What the real thing is, I should have just taken the cash option and not even been like, "Ooh, let me be a friend to somebody and give them a discount on this PlayStation," because then I wouldn't have had to worry about it. I'd have been $200 even more richer.
But you know, if you were in the games, I would 100% give it to you at retail, no matter if I had $100 into it. I'm still making a profit, but I'm doing something because I know you want it. There's a difference.
We'll see. We'll see.
No, it's unbelievable. I just came. It blows my mind because I didn't think you was that type of friend, Tom. But now, like sitting back listening to these horror stories.
Now, the only thing is, I will stand up for Thyme on one other thing. One thing Thyme has done that I can give him credit is when we were doing trading cards and stuff, he sold it to me for retail for exactly what he paid, and then I just paid for the shipping. So I know he's done it before.
Yep.
He didn't
Right.
upmark me and try and get money out of me then. So I know he's done it before.
Right.
But he was trying to get money out of
He could have got extra money out of it by selling to other people, but he didn't.
Right.
That's why it confused me that he did it this time.
Gary. I got a question for you, Gary. I got a question for you, Gary. I got a question for you, Tom, and I also have a question for myself and all the listeners out there. I want you to answer this question too. If you have an opportunity to make money off a really close friend, would you make that money or would you cut them a deal because they're your really close friend and cut yourself out of some money?
Well, we know Thyme's answer.
Well, we know Tom's answer.
So here's the thing.
No, Tom. We know your answer. We know your answer, Tom. We know your time. Tom, we know your answer, bro. Can we hear you?
You'd only cost yourself $25.
No.
$25.
It cost you $25.
As soon as I won that raffle, I was plus $900 in my pocket. You don't get to say,
You're plus $875.
Right, whatever we want to say. But I'm saying that's money in my pocket. But because I was trying to be a friend, I took less so I could offer a friend.
You didn't take less. What are you talking about? You only invested $25 in it.
I know, but I won $900 cash value.
You did.
So okay, what's the difference? You could have sold the cards for more money, but you gave it to me at retail.
Right. Well, because I didn't lose $200 already on the cards.
You did because you sold them to me at retail. You
could have because I'm a good friend. I'm looking out.
So what happened?
Well, yeah,
I was still looking out.
Your friendship at the time was a lot. Y'all was going through good times. It was just rocky when he got the PS5.
Rocky path.
Right.
Rocky.
And before I realized he didn't give me a shout out on the Amazing Race, then I was salty.
That makes sense now.
No, which is the thing. So so what question did you have you wanted to ask, D? You were getting to it, but
I said so the question is do you cut your friends a close deal, or do you make the money off of the really close friend? You see what I'm saying?
I'm giving a deal every time.
You're giving a deal every time.
Value is every time.
That's what I'm talking about, Gary. That's why I like
for that.
And that's why I asked you, Gary. Now, Tom, let me see if you're gonna tell the truth. You gonna make that extra couple of dollars over the friendship?
All right, so let me ask you this, Gary. Whenever
No. Answer the question, Tom. Answer the question, Tom. Answer the question.
Whenever you do breaks in that breaking group, do you repost them at retail or do you get a little profit out of it?
You know how much I make off of each break?
More than retail.
You know how much I make off of each break, honestly.
How much?
After I pay for shipping,
right?
After I pay for the sleeves, the top loaders, the boxes, and everything, each break I make at the most $85.
So you made money, okay?
That's
my case.
How much? But there's 12 people in there, right? So I'm making less than $10 a person.
Well,
so I would have paid $570 for it.
No, but here's the thing. I'm just being funny. I don't knock that hustle. I think you should charge more when you do that because that's a lot of work.
Oh, now you're gonna say that. Now you're gonna say that.
No, he's talking about the breaks. I understand the break. From the reason why I don't want to make a lot of money because I'm not trying to screw people over when I know how much it costs. It's hard for people to get. If you're able to get it, I'm not going to screw you over on a break because that's a whole different thing. And plus, there's 12 people, 10 people in it, so I might be making $8 to $10 per person, honestly. Because I got to pay for the shipping, and I'm also paying for all the sleeves and all the top loaders. So there's a little different because I had to make up all that. But
well, while we're talking about money, I want to bring up my question. Because it kind of ties into my weekend.
You see how he just skipped his answer?
Well, because I already know what D's gonna say. D's gonna make money. Because if he don't say this, he's lying.
We want to know your answer. Your answer, Tom. We want to know your answer. Are you making the money, or are you giving them the discount because
I'm giving
they're
them
close?
a deal. I'm giving him a deal.
We just got proof you don't.
Yes, we just proved that you didn't.
No,
Okay, so
like I said, I took less already, and you know, I got a kid. You know what I'm saying? I got a family to feed, so I'm out here
unemployed.
yeah, he's unemployed.
Wow, rich people.
No.
D, what are you doing? You
100%.
100%.
I didn't say 100%. It depends on how rich my friend is. It
I
depends on
will
how rich
say
they
for
are.
D, I think it depends on how close he is with the person.
Yeah.
If it's somebody he's close with, he's 100% getting. If it's somebody he's just an acquaintance with, he's gonna mark it up.
Oh, I'm marking it up. Acquaintance, I'm giving you that. I'm hitting you across your damn head. Friends, I might even give it to you. Shit, go ahead. I ain't used. Acquaintances. I'm busting you across your damn head. So if you're listening to this podcast and I done charge you for anything or a outrageous amount,
know which one
I hate you found out that you was a
Shout out to Taylor and Tate for him busting it over your head.
What are you talking about? Never ever.
Speaking of them boys, do y'all still play Uno, or y'all hadn't got back into that yet?
We hadn't got back into the Uno yet because of the pandemic, man, and a lot of the people at the table. I didn't want to say guys because there's guys and girls at the table was starting to come down with COVID or being exposed, and with us all having kids, some infants, didn't want to put them at risk, so we shut it down. And when you shut something down and you shut it down for such a long time, getting back into it and working it back into your schedule is tough for everybody in general. So we're working on that.
So, Thyme, you said you had something you were going to mention that comes into your weekend, the question you had.
Yeah. So, and it deals with money, and it's funny because you guys were kind of in a situation similar to this. So, the Big Brother finale just happened this week, and there's a top three. So it gets down. You've been in here all summer, and you get down to the final three. Well, first things first. They announced at the beginning of the season that they were upping the prize money $250,000 more dollars. So instead of $500,000, it was going up to $750,000. That's first things first. You get to the final three. One person is going home with $750,000. Second place is going home with $75,000, and third place is going home with nothing. So I look at Cynthia and I'm like, man, if I'm in there, I'm looking at everybody and say, hey, let's make a deal where like maybe third place gets $50,000 from first place so that they don't go home empty-handed. She looked at me like I was crazy and said, the hell you are? If especially if you are gonna win, you need to take all that money home. So my question is, if you're in the top three and there's somebody's going to have a lot of money, somebody's going to win some money, and somebody's going to win no money, are you going to be looking to cut a deal to help out the person that might finish in third? Because there's still a possibility that you yourself finish in third with no money. Or you like, nope, it's all or nothing.
D, I'll let you go first.
Okay. There's a lot of variables that play in this.
Correct.
Into this. If I feel like I'm not in the top two and I'm the third of if I'm the weaker of the three teams, then yes, I do want to make a deal. I want to say, hey, let's work something out here. Maybe we give $50K because somebody and try to convince another team that we are stronger than them. So it's all playing when you come to like reality games. But now when we're not talking about reality games and we're talking about like real life, fuck you. Hey, some people gonna have a lot, some people gonna have a little, some people gonna have just enough, and some people are gonna have nothing. And the ones that have nothing are gonna be the ones that's like they don't want to work for it. They don't want to go out there and they don't want to grind. They don't want to like when things get tough, they just like I can fall back on somebody else that could, lift me up or something like that. What I'm saying is that the ones that are moving forward and pushing forward are the ones that, just never decided to give up.
And my response would be, in those games, you can't trust anybody because they can say, yeah, I'll do it. And then knowing that you might concede and then just screw you in the end and not give you anything. They're not liable to give it to you. Anybody can say anything at any time, especially on any reality shows like that, the game shows. Anytime they can just say, "Nope, I'm good. I said it and thing, but I was just trying to get you to get eliminated so I could win." So I think if you try to make a deal and you're third, you think you're going to come in third place, or you make a deal, whatever, you're not going to fight as hard to get number one because, hey, I'm still getting compensated. Obviously, you're going to want the more money, but you're not. I feel like you might be more relaxed. But if I come in third, I'm getting nothing. I think you're going to work even harder to try and not be third. So I think it's a double-edged sword when it comes to that. So I think, no, I don't think you try to make a deal. I think you go big or go home. I think
my thing is, I don't know, because $700,000 versus 50 is a huge difference. So I'm still trying to get first.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, but whoever comes in first is going to actually pay out.
Right.
Like, it's a reality show. They've been lying to everybody the whole season. So why would they be honest and true now? That's the thing I wouldn't trust.
You would have to take people at their word, but it's just, to me, because it's like, there's people in there that are on that show that $50,000 can make a big difference in their life. So I'm just like, if I'm getting $750,000, it feels like, because I'm not gonna act like if you're getting 750 or 700,000, that 50,000 more is not a lot. And she's like, our family needs all that money. I was like, I understand we got a lot of people that could use that money, but it feels like we could let somebody else have 50,000. But I understand her point, because like in the grand scheme of things, $700,000 is not a ton of money in today's world. It's a ton of money to me, and we would be doing just fine. But it's just, to me, it feels like you should be able to share. Because, like I said, there's still that chance that you go home with nothing. So to safeguard yourself from being in that position, I don't know anybody that's gone to a show and been on the show for a long time, and then at the very end they end up going home with nothing because they lose. But my fault, guys. I didn't mean to bring that up.
I was finna raise my hand and I was like,
But that would suck, especially because the way Big Brother set. The final three are in the house, like, by themselves for a whole week. And, the first two get money. And then you're that third person that's been there just as long as these other two people, been fighting and grinding, and you're going to go home empty-handed. That would suck.
Yeah, we know how that feels.
So ladies and gentlemen that are out there listening that are over 35, 40 years old, this here is what we called entitlement. And the new millennial kid that, hey, I've been here just as long as you, even though you're better than me, I should be entitled to something.
That is not what
this
I'm
is
saying.
what you're saying. This is what you're
No.
saying. You're saying because I've been here just as long as everybody else, it shouldn't matter what place I come in, I should be entitled to something.
I don't think it's entitled as far as I would, because I would feel bad. So say I'm in the house and say third place is a single mom that, has to.
She should have won.
She should have came in second or first.
I think that's called humanity and empathy. And you're like, what?
That has nothing to do with that at all.
If she's a single mother and struggling for money, she's not on this show.
No, that's not true.
And if she is on this show, she's not coming in third or fourth. She either going for broke or she ain't making.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, but one thing about Big Brother that's different from Amazing Race is that, there's politics involved. There's a little bit of that in the Amazing Race, but it's more of like you get voted out. It's not like performance out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So just for reference, you even said, whoever won, if they gave 50,000 a third, they get 700,000. Well, in the grand scheme, that's about 300,000.
Right. Well, I'm saying you could adjust it for taxes.
We're not even talking grand scheme. I just hate the fact that Thyme, out of all people, and see, this is how you could tell a lot about a person and how they usually place and stuff like that throughout their life. See, Thyme sounded like he was a third place finisher,
and he wanted that. He wanted that medal.
No,
yes, and he wanted that medal, and he wasn't able to get that medal. And now he wants that medal, and the way that he's fighting won that medal is coming on here saying third place on Big Brothers deserve at least $50,000.
No, my thing is, I'm taking it because I even took it. I'm saying if I win, I would feel bad for third place because they've been.
But what about fourth and fifth place? Why does it just stop at third? What about fourth?
Because third was the cutoff to where it's just us three in the finals, and you have a chance at.
So what about all the other people that got ganged up on and didn't even have a chance?
Well, because they didn't make it. So
the
final the way the Big Brother works, the final three is anybody in the final three could win the final HOH. So like everyone that's there has an opportunity to win, and it's really a toss up. Like you do a trivia thing. If you lose that trivia thing, even though you've been dominating all summer, they can cut you right before the end, and you've been the best player the whole season. If he would have lost, so the guy that won, his name is Xavier, which by the way, he was also the first African American person to ever win Big Brother.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Which I'm pretty sure most people know that by now that watch Big Brother.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the people that listen to our podcast don't watch Big Brother.
And guess what? So they made an alliance. When I say they, I mean all the black people. What do you mean, you people? No, so they made an alliance and they named it the Cookout. So all 6 black people they were the final 6, and so that's the first time that Big Brother hasn't had a white person.
So I got a question. Would there be an issue if they made a final 6 of white, had made a group together and voted out all the black people? Would there have been an issue, you think, on the show? In general, I'm just saying, do you think that would have flew?
Gary, why you start shit, Gary?
No. Hey, I'm just saying.
Where did that come from?
Because he said the final 6 were all black, which is fine. But I'm saying if the final 6 were white and they voted against all the black people, would that have been an issue? You think it would have been raised? Somebody would have said something about it. I don't watch Big Brother, so I have no idea.
I don't know either. So I don't know what the context was and how they.
So here's the thing. As the person that watches Big Brother, I'll tell you this. It's a long-standing thing that obviously Big Brother is mostly played by white people. So minorities rarely have ever made it into any portion of significance in the game, because even though they're not ganging up with the sole purpose of, hey, we're going to get all the minorities out, there's there's that little bit in your mind where it's like, hey, they look like me, I'm going to team up with them. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know what you're saying, but okay.
No, so they didn't physically come. They didn't
see who my teammate is, right?
They didn't verbally come out and say, hey, all black people, we're going to stick together and we're going to go against these white people. That's not what they said.
I wasn't even saying that. I was saying the optics. That was all. I was saying, do you think the optics would have been an issue?
And you do bring an interesting point up, Gary, because here's the thing. I actually saw somebody writing an interesting article about it. It's like, if you're one of the other house guests, you can't say out loud, are all the black people working together? Because then you're going to get slaughtered. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't put that together in your mind, because they did disguise it well. But, that's like, it's such a, touchy issue, I guess, these days, that you can't, if you're in the house playing and you're not in the cookout, it's hard for you to look around and be like, are all the black people working together to get us out? Because then it's like, oh shit, you racist asshole.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. The optics of it. That's all. I'm not saying that anybody playing. I'm just saying the optics of it. It just would look bad in general. Either way.
No, you brought up a good point, and that is definitely something that people talked about. But like I said,
because in Big Brother they have a 24-hour stream too, right?
Right. Yeah, they have a lot.
So like everything is monitored the whole time there.
Yep.
And that's why I'd never go on Big Brother.
No, I wouldn't care.
But they actually had one of the guys that was on here is Joe Frazier's son, the boxer, which he was actually literally the worst player I've ever seen. But he did finish second. But all he did was sleep the whole summer.
So do you want to get to our main topic, or?
No, I think we're done for today.
No.
That's a huge topic.
I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking.
You didn't let me finish my weekend, and
we're not gonna have time for that.
I'm going into the weekend, but I want to bring this up because we hadn't talked about it on the podcast, and I think this is the best time to have this conversation. And I want to talk about Gabby. Gabby is the lady that she was found missing at Teague National Park. Her boyfriend is right now. He's on the run right now. Nobody knows where he is. We'll get into him a little bit later. But I kind of want to talk about this. This is a horrible situation. I understand that. The question that I have for you guys is in this Gabby story, when it first hit, it was like, whoa, this is crazy that she's a YouTuber or an influencer, social media influencer, that's come up missing, and she was documented, and her boyfriend was on the run. All of this was crazy because we was like, hey, where is this lady at? And it quickly snowballed into what was trending, white women syndrome, missing white women syndrome, or something like that. And I was like, what is this? So I went down this rabbit hole where it was a bunch of people complaining, not that this girl was missing, but the fact that she was missing and she was white is the reason why she got the publicity that she got, because brown and black women go missing all the time and there's nothing being said. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy that we've turned this into a race thing. We should find this little girl, you know? So then we end up finding her, and we found her body. Obviously she wasn't alive, and now we're trying to find that boyfriend. Well, within this story, there's some things that kind of hit me that really took me back. And I kind of want to ask you guys some questions about that. But if there's anything you want to say right now, just about the story in general, now you can say it if you want to.
No, I think I'll say when we start talking, I think I'll put my stuff in. I'm good.
Okay, what you got, Tom?
Oh, I got a question. Did you go to Teagan? I know you visited all those areas.
Yeah, Teague National Park. We flew into Jackson Hole, so I know the area that they was talking about, kind of roundabout.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty cool knowing that I was in the same area that they were kind of talking about. I kind of got a really good idea of what they were doing, though.
Okay.
Tom, anything you want to say right now?
No, not yet.
Okay. So my question is this right here, because me and my wife had a long conversation about this. That question is this: if the cops show up at your house and they're asking questions about your kid, do you turn your kid in, whether they are innocent or whether they are guilty? Do you turn said kid in, or do you go with the, man, I don't know what's going on, I hadn't seen them, do you completely go into parent protecting their kid mode, whether you believe they did it or whether you know they did?
Thyme, I'll let you go first.
Because me and my wife, we went round and round and
or
round
or
and
not
round.
Time.
Right. Well, I was letting D go round and round and round. For me, it's pretty difficult situation, and one that I feel like you don't really ever know the answer till you're in that situation. But I'm thinking that, if something like this happens to my child, it's almost like that TikTok. It's like, we got to see it through, my boy. We got to figure out, what you did, and you got to take the punishment for what you did. Because I'm sorry, but I love you to death. But we can't allow, we can't just cover up your mistakes like that, because that's gonna cause some very, you're not gonna grow as a person if we just continually cover you whenever you do stuff, especially something like this where you possibly killed someone, or I'm interested to hear what the story comes out, but maybe it's something where it's like, oh,
so you turn into man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay,
gotcha.
What about you, Gary?
So I think the situation depends on everything. Like, if you think 100% they're innocent, in this case, it doesn't seem like innocent, because if it was innocent, you'd have called the cops there and said she was missing, all this stuff, instead of just driving home. I think that's a telltale sign of not innocent. You'd had some play in this action. Whether you did it on accident or whatnot, that's a whole nother story. But obviously, I think he did something, because he didn't report her missing, and then just drove home. So I think that, like, in general, like using y'all, for example, like, Thyme, you have a second kid in the way. D, you have 17 kids. So
No, I have 4, asshole.
Wait, so, Gary, I thought they were your children.
That is true. Well, I claim 4 of them. So,
okay.
But no, I think, like, what D's probably going to say, he's protecting. But, like, I think what it is I think you have to weigh what would happen to you as a parent if you did. Like, if you have multiple kids and one of your kids did something and you try to hide it and whatever, and you get caught up and you get sent to prison, who's taking care of the other 3 kids? I think that's the stuff you have to weigh. Like, what would you do with the other kids if something happens and it comes out you were hiding stuff and doing all this stuff? Now you're potentially going to jail too. Now your kids got to fend for themselves, especially if they're not of age or whatever. Then what do you do? So I think you would have to turn them in. But again, I don't know until you're in that situation. I asked my mom the same situation when we were talking about this, and she said, honestly, it's until you're put in that situation, you don't know what you'll do. You would like to think you would do the right thing, but it's your kid. You don't know if you would actually do that. You might try to protect them. You might do everything you can to make sure. And I think they might also feed you a story. Like your kid might say, oh, it was an accident, all this kind of stuff. You're trying to figure out if it was or not because you know the person. But then some people know their kids are bad and they could be something liable of doing this. And you might think they would do this. And it might be best to turn them in. So I think a lot of parents would weigh how they see how their kids are because they grew up with them. They raised them. They know how they act. You know, some kids are bad. Some kids will do things that you don't like, and you might would be willing to turn them in because of it. But if you had somebody that's not, who does everything right, and something may have been a mistake or whatever, then you might try to help them. So I think, like, I don't have any kids, so I can't give a personal perspective, but I would say I think you're going to try, you would like to do the right thing, but until you're in that situation, you don't honestly know what you will do. You like to think you do, but you don't really know until that situation comes up, which hopefully nobody has to deal with that situation.
Well, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm very similar to neither one of you motherfuckers, because I'm not saying shit. I'm not talking. I'm going in pure protection mode. I completely understand everything that y'all saying. And I have already ran this through my mind 100 times. There's nothing that my kids can do outside of like murdering me. There's nothing that my kids could do that they can come back and they can say that. Yeah. I mean, her too. Her too. But I'm saying like her family, like outside of that, if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, your kid did this. Where are they? Hey, I need you to turn them in." I'm not turning my kid in. I don't give a fuck what you said that they did. So even if I know that they did it, I'm still not turning my kid in. And I'm going to tell you something on the flip side, and I am that person. If it was the other way around, I would want everybody out there to tell me what happened to my kid and if your kid did it. You're 100% true. But if you knock on my door and you tell me that my kid had did something and you are looking for them, I have no idea where they are.
So use just an example. So say your kid did something, killed somebody. We'll say that, whatever. Yeah. And if you hide it, you're going to jail, and you have three other kids.
Hey,
you have three other kids that are 7, 8, and 4. How are they taking care of it? How do they be taken care of?
They just got to figure it out. When I made that decision to say what I said, I knew exactly what I was doing when I did it. That's what you don't understand. And in time, you know, a little different maybe. But when it comes to my kids, because I know my kids, and you've been around them forever, and you know, you said that they make mistakes. Well, at the age that I am at right now, I've always told myself that my kids all have one major mistake that they can make. And that mistake is not like murder or anything like that. I'm not. You got one mistake where I'm just like, hey man, that was your mulligan right there, bro. Anything after that, I'm losing my shit. Okay. In the event that one of them does do that and that mulligan requires me going to jail for them, I'll do that. I'll do that because I've already factored that into being a father. Yeah, like, I'm gonna have to take a mulligan.
But okay, my question is, so say you do that, right? You hide it or whatever, and they still catch them, and now you're both going to jail.
Hey, that's just he used his mulligan. And then at that point in time, he gonna try to get me out. Like, man, my dad ain't had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
You would like really didn't know that.
No, he would, because we know each other as father, son, stuff like that, like relationships. With that being said, I'm letting you know right now, man. If my kids do something, that's like, and the police come to my house and they looking for them, I don't know where they at, and they could be upstairs in their room. I truly have no idea where they are. Are they in this house? I don't know. I ain't.
When you have a house that big, you can definitely lose people.
Oh, here you go. That's the way to flip it. That's the way to flip it. But it's a very interesting question. So
Well,
going
Gary,
back to
we gotta remember one thing about D. We're talking to somebody who set his house on fire as a little kid, right?
That is true.
yeah, I did. That was all accidental though. So so after hearing the story about Gabby and them interviewing her parents, me and my wife kind of went back and forth because I told her, I said, and there's no situation that I could see me snitching on my kid and them going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you come to me and you say, hey, do you know where they at? No, I don't know where they at. And then you catch them and they go to jail. Like you ain't catch them because I gave you information. You caught them because you caught them. That's different than you coming to my house and I lead to the capture of my kid. I can't do that. You on your own, player. I'm not trying to hinder you in any way, but I'm definitely not gonna help you. Definitely not gonna help you.
Yeah, I have a flip question now. So say you had something happen to one of your kids.
I told you. I'm completely. I want somebody to talk.
No. What are you doing though? I feel like you're the type that you're going to go try and find this person that did it,
right?
And you'll go to jail for that too.
Yeah. Especially if you get the right. Yeah, I'm flip side. I'm extreme. I get it.
If your kid defaced and burnt down the whole Memphis football field?
My kid ain't gonna do that.
Okay, you say Louisville, that, but if he does,
Louisville, he'll definitely do that.
Louisville. Kid saying red's his favorite color, so don't get it twisted.
Nah, that's Louisville.
I pulled at two heartstrings right there.
Yeah, I see that. But here's the last question though, as far as it relates to
he avoided the answer.
Gabby, because it's not realistic.
Your kid murdering somebody's realistic, but him burning down.
Well, I mean, that's basically what we're talking about right now. Somebody's kid murdering somebody else's kid.
Right.
Is that not what we're talking about? So she was like, you think the parents told the truth? And I was like, yeah, they told the truth as much as they could, but I mean, I don't think they lied. They probably left out some stuff. And she said, well, I can't believe that they would just I was like, look, honey, if one of our kids was to do something and my kid called me and said, hey, Dad, I done did something bad. Don't tell me what it is. Don't tell me, especially if the police finna come over here. Don't tell me what it is. You just go somewhere, son. Stop talking to me and I'm hanging up the phone. So now when they show up, I truly don't know nothing. Hey, when was the last?
That's different than helping them, though. I'm talking if you help them and hide things and put things away and clean things, that's a whole nother level of them. What you're saying,
I'm doing that, Gary. I'm doing that for my kid, bro. I'm doing it. I'm all in at that point. I'm all in, bro. If your kid came to you and told you, like, hey, man, I think I could do this and get away with it, premeditated, I'm like, damn, nah, you ain't doing this, man. I'm gonna get you some help. Now, if he come to me and he done already did it, I'm locked in. I got two decisions I can make. One, help him, or two, turn him in. There's no other option.
Or three, don't tell me about it. Good luck.
There's no three because he's coming to me out of good faith in the first place. Like, look, man, I done did something bad. I done killed somebody. What? Why'd you do that? Oh, man, I did this, but I can get away with it if you help me do this, and this. Okay. Or I can help. No, son, you need to turn yourself in. This is not a good look, man. You can get this. They're going to give me this, and this. So you let me know. And then at that point, now you want to know what happened. Well, what happened, son? And when the son tell the story, it's going to be on his side. So he's still going to pull at the heartstrings of the mom and dad. So you don't even know if you're giving them the real story. And then in turn, you still going to help them in some capacity, even when you turn them in.
I think a lot of people would do that just because it's their kids. But you don't know. Just like Thyme, he says he would turn them in, but you don't know until you're in that situation.
Which I said that.
Thyme, if it's your firstborn comes to you and says that, I'm not sure you're turning them over Just being honest, from the way I see you, I just don't see it happening. Personally,
I'd be interested to hear what Mama Bear has to say about that for sure.
Correct. No, I think that's the thing, because it's a whole nother situation. But I have a question dealing with the whole thing. Do y'all think the boyfriend did something? And it's the case, because I 100% do. Because to me, you're not gonna just leave and drive home and leave her by herself in the middle of the forest, no matter even if you're in an argument or not, and not report her missing, and then go drive home 11 days or whatever.
And so this is the issue that I have with this entire story. Okay, and I could talk about this Gabby story forever, but I know we can't, and I don't want to press this too long. But the reason why this story is so fascinating to me and so crazy all in the same sense is because everybody's last encounter with these people mostly was them arguing. Correct. Because that's a highlight of a trip. Like nobody ever see like, oh yeah, we saw them walk by and they were silent and didn't say anything and they played with the daffodils. It has to be something out of the ordinary for us to take notice of a group. And so everybody took notice of this argument because it was loud. It was out of the ordinary. So now everybody's like, oh, okay. Everybody's encounter with them until everybody outside of them is like, oh, they was in an abusive relationship or they were fighting, they were this, they were that, because that was the underlier that made them different from everybody around them, which made them take notice. Okay. Right. So this is why I have a problem with it, because that's just kind of like a moment in time. So now, even if something innocently happened where she may have slipped off a cliff or she died in her sleep or something like that, the last thing that you saw me and her do was argue. So I am now a suspect to begin with. So if anything accidental happened, I'm on the hook for it anyway.
Well, no, that's where evidence hopefully would come in and help you. Hopefully.
Well, it won't, because I got 12 witnesses said that we was arguing last night.
Yeah, but like I think the biggest thing is like if you reported missing or something happened right away, the coroner can tell you if it was accidental or not. If you wait 3 weeks and they find and they see something and you didn't report it, it's gonna be harder to get proof. And then now you are going down.
And here's the thing though, they already have ruled it a homicide. We don't know why that they ruled it a homicide. Yes, we don't know if it's a gunshot, blunt force trauma to a certain area. We don't know exactly what they know. So I'm just talking off of pure speculation.
Correct.
In terms of that. So I'm telling you why this is a fascinating story, because even if it accidentally happened, everybody remember them like arguing and like falling out with each other, because that's what made it different. There's a lot of people that go through there that they don't bless you, that they don't bat an eye to, because they're just normal walking through. There's no event that happens to capture everybody's attention. So most of the time, had that not happened, nobody would have ever saw them. They would have just been silent ghosts, nameless, gray faces.
I think his actions show that he's guilty. What he's doing, driving home and then disappearing again and being on the run. To me, those actions show a guilty person. Okay, if you weren't guilty, you would say something.
I'm getting to that. So I'm already guilty before I come into the spotlight, right? I don't know who this guy is. I'm not giving him a pass. I'm not saying that he's guilty. I'm not saying that he's innocent. I'm just telling you that this story is fascinating because he could be one or the other, or he could be both. It just depends on what it is. Because if we in an abusive relationship, him and her, and they fight all the time or whatever, and then this time, he does something that he does all the time, and this time it's button on the right nose, knocks her out cold. She hit a rock and he ends up killing her. I mean, he wasn't trying to. That's still accidental, but like he still responds. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
So there's a lot of stuff that plays into this, and I'm not saying any of it is right. I'm not saying any of it is wrong. I'm just saying that it's there.
No, I agree.
And I got to make sure that I'm really clear on this, because it's a touchy subject. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm really taking my time here. So as we look at him, it's fascinating to me because I really and truly want to know what happened from both her and his perspective. But I know we'll never get her perspective because we don't know. I mean, she's not here to to tell us what happened. But it's very interesting to see, you know what I'm saying, what happened and what pushed him or her over the edge in terms of this event to even happen in the first place. Like, what was it over? Like, I mean, it couldn't have been over like him like cheating or him eating the last granola bar. Like, it had to be something small because you see what I'm saying?
I would just hate for anybody to see me and D traveling and then one of us disappear because we are always arguing or people think we're arguing with each other.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, right. So if the last thing they saw us doing, Gary, was arguing, I am now a suspect because the last time.
Why was I the one missing? Why wouldn't you be the one missing? Come on.
I mean, because they wouldn't look for me. I mean, you didn't hear what I said earlier?
Time, you
would have to be missing, Gary. You would have to be missing. And then we would put out a search party and like you would be all over the news and stuff. Like that's what everybody's saying. You haven't been watching the news lately?
You're a bigger figure than I am, so.
No.
Very true. No. I think you're kind of spot on with the accent thing because it feels like one of those movies or shows that you've seen where things got escalated, probably went a little bit farther than what he intended, and then something happened, and he's like, "Oh crap!" So his first response is flight. Goes home to mommy and daddy and tells them what happened, and they're like, "Oh, panicking because our son accident." But that seems like, without knowing any more details, that seems to be
that's exactly what it is. Have you guys seen In the Night of?
That's a show that was on HBO.
Yeah, it's a show that was on HBO.
Don't talk about because I want time to actually see it.
Bro, it's absolute. This is the mindset that I have when I look at this.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you need to watch it, Tom. It's awesome. But go ahead.
Okay, well I'll check that out. But yeah, again, HBO Rich People Channel. One of y'all, can I borrow your HBO login?
Well, I'm borrowing Gary's HBO, so Well, but go ahead, Tom.
But yeah, so I think that's kind of where my mind frame is at. That's just like what the puzzle pieces look like. Whether or not that's what happened, I guess we'll find out. But real quick before we sign out, I think one of the funniest memes that I saw this weekend was, if Dog the Bounty Hunter finds this guy, I'm never paying taxes again.
That's outrageous. I hope he finds him. Because it's just going to show how bad our people are looking for people.
Our justice system.
It's so bad.
What you want to say? Like how cops are looking for him? I heard a joke, a dark joke.
Well, we could talk about it not on the podcast. How about that one?
No. Let's talk about it on the podcast because we
don't have
real quick.
Well, how'd you say it for next week? That way we can actually talk about it if we have to.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we run a little bit over time, but it's okay. It's okay. You know what? I think everybody loved the overtime segment that I put in that first week, but it's all right. Time's back, baby.
About time. Freaking vacation.
I know, right? Pun intended.
Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast, and we'll be back next week. Hopefully them Carolina Panthers will be 4-0, boys. We out.
You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring DeAngelo Williams and Gary Barnidge. You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring DeAngelo Williams and Gary Barnidge. You are now listening to